Hey guys, I'm back today with not really a review, but just more informational about all the watch faces I have for my Pebble watch. I have a Pebble Time, the first generation, and basically these are all the watch faces I use and recommend. This is the standard one. I don't really recommend it. I wish you could delete it, honestly, but they won't let me. Um, oh, you're not connected to your internet. Okay. Um, basically these are the apps or watch faces I recommend. One's called Moto 360 Illuminator Pro. Basically, it gives a lot of information, a lot of information I like. It does time, date, day, uh, year, battery percentage, and temperature, and even your location. So that's all on one screen without you having to move anything. Another favorite of mine is Weatherland, which is one of the original applications that I've had on my Pebble Time since I got it. It does three things very well. It tells time, tells the date, and tells the weather. And it even does a little animation that changes when the weather changes. And that's one of the most useful watch faces I've ever used. Also, there's Real Weather, which is just like Weatherland. It tells date, time, and weather. And it also changes in the background with what the weather is outside. I just used it as a little changer for this one. They honestly look almost exactly the same, but they're just a little different, and sometimes I just want to mix it up. There's this one called Lines. Basically, it'll change the time in a cool way. If you can see it, there it is. But you can see the time just changing a little bit by little bit, and I like it just because it's subtle. It probably wouldn't use as much battery as like this one would or this one would when it changes and updates itself. And it's black and white, so it doesn't use as much color, which can also save on battery. Also, there's this one called Mario Time, which is the one I usually run on my watch. It just looks the best. Like right now, mine is actually Luigi. Like if I go to the settings, instead of Mario's Luigi, I believe you can also choose browser. Yeah, I'm quite sure you can choose browser. Okay, it doesn't want to load. But anyways, you can choose browser. It tells you the date, time, battery status at the very, very top. Probably can't see it from here, but at the very, very top, it tells a little battery symbol. And if you shake it, whoever character you choose will be jumping and hit the clock like that. Next is Brick Neon. I just think it's a very colorful application and it's pretty useful. It tells the battery percentage, the day of the week, the date, the time, and what else would you need? There's this one which I just thought was cool because I love math and I like thinking of time as math. So there's Fractopus Fraction Watch, which I just thought was cool. Like 8.5 is 8:30, or 8:360 is also 8:30. 3060, sorry. There's also this app or this watch face over here called City Temps. Basically, all it does is have I think you could choose the city in the background. You could choose like Tokyo, New York, San Francisco, Moscow, a bunch of major cities, even Paris. And it tells you the battery percentage at the top, tells you the date under that, tells you the time, and it also tells you if it's cloudy, clear, sunny, or whatever the temperature is, in the city that you choose. Next is Make Me Smile for a watch face. This is one of my favorites as well. It's just like Weatherland and Real Weather. Basically, it tells you the date, the time, and the weather. But this one also shows the battery at the top right, and also has a little clever animations for each weather that it actually has. Next is Aspire, which is one that I rarely use. I just think it just looks very clean and very elegant. It tells you the date at the top, the time under that, the location of where you are, and the temperature of where that location is, if you have Bluetooth on, if it's connected, and the battery percentage. And it also shows your steps and how much of what your normal average is that you've used. Which if you use the Pebble Watch as more of a fitness band, that's probably more useful to you than just knowing the weather or knowing your battery percentage, but actually knowing how many steps you have without actually going to the activity portion of the app. After that, there's Square, which is just a really simple one. It shows you the date, the time, the date, the temperature, and the weather. I actually never got the weather part to work. I'm not sure why, but the weather part never worked for me, so I don't really use that watch face. There's also this Days of the Week watch face, which I also don't use. Should probably delete you. And then this is my last favorite weather one. It's called Simple Weather, and it tells you the day, the time, the battery percentage under the date right here, the location, your temperature for that location, and a little animation for the weather. And there's also time box, which actually is very customizable. You can show any of these options. The calories you burn, the date, the time, the day, the temperature, the weather. Just a lot of different customizations that a lot of people can use. After that, I have Slides of Time, which is actually what I've been running recently. It's one of my favorites so far. It has 5 lines. The 3 that are lighted show the day, the time, and then the year, I believe. The date, the time, and the year, yeah. So the date will be at the top line, time will be in the middle line, and year will be at the bottom line. And just simple. I even have where you shake it, it'll say it's time for something, and then it'll go into the actual time. You can change that to do it or not. I thought it was cool, so why not, right? This one's pretty useful. It just tells you the date, how many steps you've taken, and the time, which is basically essential, which is what it's called. And then this one's just a very fun one. It's called Big and Simple. It tells you the day, the time, and the little seconds hand. I never really liked the seconds hands because I read that wastes the battery of the Pebble Time a lot because it has to constantly refresh it instead of keeping one thing there for a minute, which is what it would do for normal times. It'll just keep there for a minute, won't have to change it, won't have to use the power to change it. And with this one, it will use it every second to change the second hand, and I didn't like that, so I don't really use that. But yeah, so Slides of Time is my favorite. Mario Time Watch Face is my favorite. Fractopus and Weatherland. Those are my 4 favorite, and if you need any more recommendations, please don't hesitate to comment. Have a good day, guys.